One of the world's most famous phrases is, "One must cultivate one's own garden." But where does it come from, and what exactly does it mean? It is the work of the French 18th century writer and philosopher Voltaire, and it appears at the end of his legendary novel Candide, written in just 3 very inspired days in 1759. The clue to its meaning lies in the subtitle of Voltaire's novel, Candide, or Optimism. Voltaire's goal in writing his book was to destroy the optimism of his times, an optimism that centred around science, love, technical progress, and a faith in reason. This made Voltaire furious. Of course, science wasn't going to fundamentally improve the world. It would merely give new power to tyrants. Of course, philosophy wasn't going to be able to explain away the problem of evil. It would only show up our vanity. And of course, love is only an illusion. Humans are irredeemably wicked, and the future is absurd. Of all this, Voltaire's readers were to be left in no doubt. Hope was, he felt, a disease, and it was Voltaire's generous goal to try to cure us of it. Nevertheless, Voltaire's novel is not simply a tragic tale designed to inspire nihilism. The book ends on a memorably tender and stoic note. The hero, Candide, and his companions have travelled the world and suffered immensely. They have known persecution, shipwrecks, rapes, earthquakes, smallpox, starvation, and torture. But they have more or less survived, and in the final pages they find themselves in Turkey, a country that Voltaire especially admired, living in a small farm in a suburb of Istanbul. One day they learn of trouble at the Ottoman court. 2 viziers and the mufti have been strangled and several of their associates impaled. The news causes upset and fear in many. But near their farm, Candide, together with his friends Martin and Pangloss, pass an old man who is peacefully and indifferently sitting under an orange bower next to his house. Let's listen to an extract. Pangloss, who was as inquisitive as he was argumentative, asked the old man what the name of the strangled mufti was. "I don't know," answered the worthy man, "and indeed I have never known the name of any mufti nor of any vizier. I have no idea what you're talking about. My general view is that people who meddle with politics usually meet a miserable end, and indeed they probably deserve to. I never bother with what's going on in Constantinople. I only worry about sending the fruits of the garden which I cultivate off to be sold there." Having said these words, the old man invited the strangers into his house. His 2 sons and 2 daughters presented them with several sorts of sherbet, which they had made themselves, with kaymak enriched with the candied peel of citrons, with oranges, lemons, pineapples, pistachio nuts, and coffee. After which the 2 daughters of the honest Muslim perfumed the strangers' beards. "You must have a vast and magnificent estate," said Candide to the Turk. "Oh no, I've only got 20 acres," replied the old man. "I and my children cultivate them, and our labour preserves us from 3 great evils, weariness, vice, and want." Candide, on his way home, reflected deeply on what the old man had said. "This honest Turk," he said to Pangloss and Martin, "seems to be in a far better place than kings." "I also know," said Candide, "that we must cultivate our own garden." Voltaire, who liked to stir the prejudices of his largely Christian readers, especially enjoyed giving the idea for the most important line in his book, and arguably the most important adage in modern philosophy, to a Muslim, the true philosopher of the book, known only as the Turk. "Il faut cultiver notre jardin." We must cultivate our garden, or, as it has variously been translated, we must grow our vegetables, we must tend to our lands, or we need to work our fields. But what did Voltaire really mean with his gardening advice? Essentially, that we must keep a good distance between ourselves and the world, because taking too close an interest in politics or public opinion, what people are talking about, these things are a fast route to aggravation, danger, and mental unwellness. We should know enough at this point that humans are just troublesome and will never achieve, at a state level, anything like the degree of logic and goodness and kindness we would so long for. And so we should never tie our personal moods to the condition of a whole nation or people in general. Otherwise, we'll be set to weep continuously. We need to live in our own small plots, not the heads of strangers. At the same time, because our minds are haunted and prey to anxiety and despair, we need to keep ourselves busy. We need a project. It shouldn't be too large a project or dependent on too many people. The project should send us to sleep every night, weary but satisfied. It could be bringing up a child, writing a book, looking after a house, running a small shop, or managing a little business. Or, of course, like the Turk, tending to a few acres. Note Voltaire's geographical modesty. We should give up on trying to cultivate the whole of humanity. We should give up on things at a national or international scale. Take just a few acres and make those your focus. Take a small orchard and grow lemons and apricots. Take some beds and grow asparagus and carrots. Stop worrying yourself with humanity if you ever want peace of mind again. Who cares what's happening in Constantinople or what's up with the next Grand Mufti? Live quietly like the old Turk, enjoying the sunshine in the orange bower next to your house. This is Voltaire's stirring, ever-relevant form of horticultural quietism. We have been warned and guided.